Besides all that he has said, what do you think are the root causes of these power shortages that we are having in this country?
Not just that, thank you so much. Not just that there is lack of proper planning. Even the little improper planning that we do is inconsistent. But alongside that is even the disturbing phenomenon of policy inconsistency, corruption. Those two have been very, very prevalent in the system. For instance, we know that currently two former ministers of power are going through court trials for what they did with money that was voted for the power sector. At least, I mean, it's a known issue for allegation of corruption of what they spent money for. Apart from that, the issue of policy inconsistency has been a major bane of this sector. Not just that alone, we don't have respect for contractual agreements. Apart from that, you find situation where there is so much indebtedness, government delinquency. I mean, I don't know whether we recall what happened in Lagos recently, where Ikeja Electric was attacked by service people. As much as we frown at that conduct of going to attack people who were doing their legitimate business, the fact remains that government was delinquent in not paying, because one of the reasons that gave rise to that attack was the fact that that government agency was owing up to about 3 billion. I hope I have that fact very clear. And they were paying about 60 million monthly. So if you are owing 3 billion, 4 billion, and you are paying 60 million monthly, when are you going to finish paying? How many 60 million do you have in 1 billion? So, but these people are providing a service for the nation. They are not a revenue generating agency. They are a cost center. It is government's responsibility to make sure that they pay their debt, because the energy has been consumed. So there is a responsibility on the part of government that owns them and for whom they provide a certain critical service to make sure that the items for which they reacted to provide protection is not exposed. I mean, the public is not exposed to the danger of such a thing. I mean, look at what happened. I can't remember the year now when there was this explosion at the Ikeja cantonment. Somebody was telling me that as far as Satellite Town, look at the distance between the Ikeja and Satellite Town in Lagos. The sound that was produced was like the bomb was exploding behind their houses.
Same thing on the island as well.
So if they have a responsibility to make sure that those explosives are kept at certain temperature and pressure, and then the disco has a responsibility to recover its money, are you going to blame the disco for withdrawing service? So we have seen policy inconsistency, we have seen political interest, we have seen selfish interest. Lack of national interest is one of the issues that is driving the power sector in the wrong direction. It's driving the power sector southwards. And as a result of that, unless we have a change of attitude, okay, take for instance, the Honorable Minister of Power launched 2 documents about a week or 2 weeks ago. Those documents, I mean, the review of those documents, they have taken 24 years, because the first one was done in 2001. And it's only after 24 years. For a sector like the power sector, you cannot be insensitive to exponential developments. It is within this same period that we have had explosion in the production of handsets. It is within this same period that we have had sporadic or exponential growth in population. And electricity is equal to life. I don't know how many of us, I know so many of us can relate. As you are going home and you get to your environment, most of us have what we used to monitor, whether there is light at home now. So when you get to the monitor point that you see supply, and maybe you are sad before you got there, you feel a sense of relief. But the moment you get to that monitoring point and there is no, so, oh my God, that despondency is there. So that tells you how critical electricity is to us. So We have the issue of lack of proper planning. I mean, take SCADA, for instance. SCADA, that is supposed to be a critical equipment in transmission, has been in production line for over 40 years. So if you are going to take 20 years to prepare for madness, how long are you going to get mad? I mean, I'm sorry for the use of that word on air. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's taking too long for us to get out of this mess that we have found ourselves in this country. Policy inconsistency. Government has to be ready to take up that responsibility to say, we want to do this. Look at the Electricity Act 2023 that was signed by President Bola Tinubu. This is something that the likes of our forefathers, Awolowo, had advocated in the 50s, that regions should be allowed to generate their own electricity. We are just realizing the importance of such policy direction. I mean, at this time of our growth as a nation, with all of the resources that we have had, look at what happened to the 19 northern states. Was it at the beginning of the year, or was it last year, when the whole of that economy was cut off from the national grid for 2 weeks?
Last year.
Look at the damage to socioeconomic activities. Look at all the things that would have happened. Look at the criminal activities that would have taken place. Why is it that it is on? I mean, of all the lines, most of them became redundant, and it was only one that was functional. And it was when that one was put under pressure that we now started running around, and we spent, only God knows how many billions we spent to recover that line.
Mr. Fadika, let's